and the same goes for the detection tube. If you use detector tube over 1 meter, this needs to be pre-filled, and in this case pre-filled with extinguishant.
Gustav?
Yeah.
Can you please say that we record this?
Oh,
but there is somebody who won't let us record, so tell them not to press anything.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard Anja, if we would like to record this for those who can't participate. So don't press any buttons if you get the question. Thank you. So moving on, this has been on the market for around 15 months now for Volvo, actually. So we have around 1,200 units on the market, and so far no non-conformities, unfortunately, or no fires either. So we haven't seen any fires yet. We've done a product revision on site on some customers, and the installation looks good. No problems after 1 year. Oh yeah, emptying time is 45 seconds plus minus 10 depending on temperature. Any questions, Philip?
Nothing so far.
No. So how does it work? We use a similar loss of pressure principle as the standard Fogmaker system, but with the same pressure in the detection, on the detection side and as the suppression side. So 24 bar both on the detection side and the suppression side. We have a flow-sensitive piston that will open a passage between the bottle and the nozzle if there is a flow in the detector tube. So if we have a burst on the detector tube, this piston here will move closer to the detector tube outlet, and that will allow a flow from the bottle out to the nozzle. So this is a schematic of the system when it's closed. So we will have pressure up to this valve. When you activate it, you start by opening the bottle by twisting the valve. Same principle as the new detector bottle. And this will pressurize the detection side. So you need to install the detection side first. Open the valve, and when you have pressure here, you also have a force that will force the piston towards the outlet and keep it sealed. When the system deploys, you lose the pressure on the detection side, the piston moves, and you have a connection between the bottle and the nozzle. One thing that didn't show on this is that here we have a piston lock. This one holds the piston when you activate it. So you need to open the valve, pressurize the detection side, and then remove this piston lock. Any questions? No. Moving on to certification. This type of systems cannot be certified by us as a fire suppression system manufacturer. It has to be done by the vehicle manufacturer, and this is because of the R107. It's certified as a fire suppression system for a specific compartment. So we will do what we can to help with this, of course. We have done tests at RISE, the Swedish the Research Institutes of Sweden, and we did the test as generic as possible. So we hope that the same test report can be used for different vehicle manufacturers. But this is up to the transport authority in each country to decide. One important thing in this is that the air inlet, when we tested it, it was 144 cubic centimeters. So I assume that air inlets above this will be difficult to approve. So when you talk to OEMs, make sure that they keep the box fairly tight. Okay. Installation, service, and user manuals are updated with info on this. You find them as usual in the partner portal. So installation. As I mentioned, it's very important to do the installation and activation in a specific order. If you, for example, remove the piston lock before you pressurize the detection tube, system will activate. So follow the instructions. Install, pressurize, remove piston stop, and then connect the distribution hose. And this is all. Come on. This is all described in the installation manual. Good point. It can be installed standing or lying, but we want a 5-degree angle of the bottle. That's why we have a specially designed bracket for this, and this is included in the kit. So you will have the 5 degrees automatically.
I have a question. This 5 degree, is it when it's lying, or even if it's standing, we want to have a 5%?
We don't need it when it's standing,
okay.
But with this bracket you will have it anyway.
Okay.
What happens if you put the bracket like 45 degrees? Or 30 or whatever?
That's something you can do, of course.
Okay.
But you need to make sure that you always have at least 5 degree.
Ah, okay,
angle.
at least.
Yeah. So standing up or almost lying down.
But you can go the full circle if you want to.
Almost.
Okay.
I think I have a better picture later. So here we have some installation pictures. I don't know how good you can see, but we have the bottle installed here. Detector tube, also with a gauge for easy access. And on this one, the nozzle is installed directly on the bottle. Close up. We also have the pressure switch mounted on the detection tube with the mini fire suppression system. Could be good to know. So this is how the inside look. We have a siphon tube, so that's why we want to have the small angle to make sure we empty as much liquid as possible.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we use several in parallel if compartment to protect is big?
That's a good question. We thought about it, and we haven't done any tests yet. If you have a need for this, let us know, and we'll do some trials. You cannot install any more nozzle. One is the maximum in this case. Also good to know.
Another question.
Yeah.
Is the agent fluorine free?
No, not at the moment. It's the same agent, same standard agent, minus 35.
Another question.
Yeah.
The nozzle doesn't need to be directed towards the webasto.
Depending on the installation, of course, I would say aim it as good as you can towards the risk.
But you can have a steel pipe at the end of the bottle, and you can direct it to the place you need to direct it.
Yeah, either steel pipe or a hydraulic hose.
Mm.
Good questions. Moving on to service, we have a 1-year service as usual, visual control, check the pressure, test the alarm, make sure it's installed correctly and fastened correctly. 5-year service, change of liquid, same as the standard Fogmaker system. And 10-year, replace the bottle.
A comment from Ophira. Gustav knows we have been using the solution in Breda bus since 10 years from their 80-meter version with separate Webasto compartment. It is a very good solution. It's a comment from Ophira.
Yeah, that must be the Novik system more.
They've written so.
Yeah.
This doesn't have Novik inside.
No. This is extinguishment.
Okay.
Water
You're
based.
saying no Fogmaker.
Fog liquid.
Sorry.
Fog liquid. You can see that.
Yeah, I'll have a look. This is all described in the service manual, of course. Refilling after activation could be good to know as well. When you refill it, you need to disassemble it or remove the top. And this must be done in a clean environment. So I would recommend you have replacement bottles available so you can quickly change them and repair them in your workshop or similar. And of course the distribution system needs to be flushed and also replaced when you refill the system. Yeah, no more questions so far.
We can take it at the end.
Yep.
It's a bit more complex to talk about.
Yep. So how to order? 2 options. Option number 1, you order part number 1005, which is almost everything, but you need to add your specific length of hose, your specific length of detector tube, protection spring, protection conduit if you need it, fastening material for the tubes and hoses, and any alarm if needed. 1005 includes all components needed: pressure switch, bracket, nozzle connectors, everything except the tubes or hoses. Option number 2, ask your account manager for a complete kit designed for your needs, and you will receive a specific part number with everything you need. At the moment, we don't have any variant for air freight, but we are working on this, so I think we will have it available shortly. And that's it. So, any questions so far?
If you have any, please unmute yourself and say it out loud. Can this product be used for electric buses, battery packs, just to delay fire propagation?
I would say you need to do a risk assessment. If you have a good enough IP classification, it can be used. It's the same answer as for the standard system. We use the water-based extinguishant, which also contains salts. So if you don't have the proper IP, maybe not. Ja. Bra idé. I have a question for you. What else can we use this for? So if you have, our idea was to use it for Webasto compartments or heat compartments. But if you see any other uses, please let us know. Det gjorde jag.
Gjorde du? Det var en öppen dörr.
Forklifts. Good point.
Auxiliary compartment, electric bus. Do you have any logs for coaches with the bus in different countries? This is from Switzerland.
For coaches, it's R107 in almost for Europe, European Union, and some other countries as well. And that's applying since 2019.
Fewer things can be used in genset applications.
Sure, if they're small or have small compartments.
Same question comes. Is it possible to install 2 bottles in series for large volume?
We have not tested this, but if you have see the need for it, we can do some tests. It's technically possible.
But wouldn't it be logical to use the smallest extinguishers on a bottle we have, the normal cylinder, rather than these 2 together?
At some point, depending on the size of the compartment, yes.
Oh.
I would say so, yeah.
Is also Novec available with the solution?
Novec is not available with this solution, and it's not needed. The Novec is distributed through the detection tube, and that's good enough since the Novec is so easily what's the word?
Leak.
No.
Evaporate?
Yeah, evaporated. Yes, you can refill the system, but I suggest this is done in the workshop, not in the field. So have spare systems with you would be my suggestion.
A lot of good questions.
Yeah. I'm writing them down. So.
Video performance, do we have any?
We have. And, I can check if I can send them over. Spare parts, that's a good question.
Can we use it portable?
We do have spare parts, of course, but I don't think we have any specialist for it. But I would look into that.
We can't deliver by air at the moment. We are working on it.
Yes.
Price lists.
Price lists should be available as well. And delivery by air, hopefully soon, in a few weeks. We haven't found any other fire tests which could be suitable to certify it against. But if you have any ideas, please let us know. Fluorine-free foam would, of course, be a topic as well for this system in the future, but we don't have any date set. So, if you don't have any more questions, as you do, can we already get tool and instructions for refilling? Yeah, you probably already have them. To pressurize, you use the same tools as for the detection bottle, and to fill liquid, you need a measuring glass to fill the correct amount.
How long did it take for the install?
That's a good question. I don't have any figures on that. I can't tell you, but I can ask our installers. It's pretty straightforward if you have access, of course. And this will be available to look on later, since we recorded it. I think Anja will send info.
And what we can do is that some of the questions you have here, we collect them, and when we send out the link, we will hopefully have the questions answered for you as well. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Total volume it can protect is 0.8 cubic meters. And you can connect it to the control panel. Of course, uses a similar pressure switch as the standard system. So you connect it the same way in series if you have multiple pressure switches.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for the good webinar.
Yeah. And why, last question here, why 0.8 cubic meters? Since this from the beginning was a special request from Volvo, and they had compartments below this number, that's why we choose it, and also to have an alternative to the Novex system.
The last question here, do you have a marketing brochure? We have sent you material. I will send it again. We do have material you can use.
Okay. So thank you, and we will send over some more info. And if you have any questions, let us know. So thank you.
Thank you for the webinar. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.